Hello, everyone. Welcome back to What Businesses Need to Know Right Now. I'm your guide, Nettie Owens from the Sapari Group, and today I have with me Melissa Van Oss. She's going to be talking to you about seduction. She's a seduction visionary and human relations expert, and I'm really excited to bring this conversation to you because it's probably not one that you have very often, and maybe you should consider a little bit more. So, Melissa is a well-known author, speaker, and she helps her clients explore the world of seduction, getting a glimpse inside of these experiences that Melissa has had. She uses those to help you use seduction as a second language, and that's the name of her book. So welcome, Melissa. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. My pleasure.
I'm so excited to just jump right into this topic. So what is it about seduction that we need to know, and how does this apply to the business world?
I think that's a great question. Of course, you're known for those great questions. I think, with seduction, it's one of those sort of like hot topic or buzzwords or words that you hear and you immediately like, wait, did I hear that correctly?
Did she just say that?
Did she say
Are we
seduction and we're talking about
seduction?
business?
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that's like, hold on. So first, it does get your attention, but for me, this idea of seduction as a language and just seduction in and of itself is more about a mindset, a lifestyle, a way of life, and a way of thinking, not only just a means to an end to sex or the bedroom. So I think when you kind of take the bedroom part out of it, from at least initially to jump off from, kind of changes the perspective a little bit to kind of make it a little less like, okay, we don't have to go straight to that realm. And the way I really position seduction and really at the core of it, it's all about persuasion. And if we think about it, from business perspective, obviously, we're either trying to persuade people to buy our product, service, or whatever it may be, or we're being persuaded to do that, as well, right? So whether it be the clothing, labels, or the cars, or the neighborhoods we live in, every day we're experiencing this seduction anyway. So why not actually learn a little bit more about the topic so that when you are experiencing some entity trying to seduce you, you'll kind of know, like, okay, how do I respond? And you can understand where you want to go with that, if you want to make, that informed decision to say, okay, I'll buy that today.
Right. So it sounds like it's pretty multifaceted. It's what you're saying, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and you're taking all of these facets and kind of couching them in how you're being persuaded to act, or how you are persuading others to act.
Actually, both. Because I'm a big believer and fan of, and I talk about this in the books, is in order to understand essentially human nature, which I think, as business owners, entrepreneurs, corporations, we have to understand our customers at the end of the day, right? Their mindset, their thinking, where they are in their life, so that we can actually have an answer, solution to that problem. And so when we're able to kind of take this idea of seduction and look at it more so as we go inward to do our work so that we know, again, how we are responding when people are trying to persuade us. And then once we know what drives us, we can kind of essentially step back and get out of the way. So when we are in those conversations and we're in those moments, we stay in the moment, and then we can actually fully engage with the other party. Because at the end of the day, when we are, putting all of our attention and focus into another individual, product or service, whatever it may be, that is certainly, if it's a interpersonal relationship, a lot of people don't spend that sole focus of time anymore on someone, right? Because we're always distracted with our devices and different things like that. So we're able to actually put the focus on that other person. You're able to listen, not wait to respond. You're able to hear the needs of that person, and you're able to then, at the end of the day, get a win-win.
I love the perspective that you're inviting us to explore here, because I feel like it's pulling in so much. I mean, you've mentioned marketing, you've mentioned communication, human relations. There's just a lot of different aspects, even listening skills, and what would fall into kind of like a coaching category, and that therapeutic. I mean, it's just like it's really touching on a lot of different points. So I'm curious, about how all of that's playing together. So, what are some ways that the art of seduction could be useful to us on a daily basis? Where would you, um, where would you invite us to kind of like get to know it better, and how might we use it?
So I think, to kind of get started with the art of seduction is one of the first things to do is start with the mindset. And you know how it is with anything in life, if we go into it with the right mindset, the right intention, and the right perspective on things, we're going to most of the time get the outcome that we are seeking. Or if we don't, we're going to be much closer, to that destination than not. So when we start with this idea of a seduction mindset, in the idea, it's about persuasion, it's about psychology and actually understand human nature, yours and others. Then you can actually go to the next level or realm, because I in the book I talk about the hierarchy of seduction, so that at the end of the day you kind of awaken your aura of seduction. So you kind of have that it factor, that
Mhm.
confidence factor. And who doesn't want to do business with confident people? You need to be confident to be an entrepreneur and a business person. So you have your mindset, you have your confidence that goes into that. And then as you progress, the thing I think that is really important is that we start to look at the world in a new perspective and a new perception. So I sort of talk about it a lot like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, right? Like there's Dorothy black and white and her, humdrum and kind of like existence, where it was like seems super stressful and kind of downer, right? And then, the tornado whips her up, lands in Oz. And then of course that's the first we see in vivid technicolor, right? And even as us watching it, being that all of our movies, I think now being in color, when you watch something in black and white and then it shifts to a color later or vice versa, it makes your mind start to go in another direction just automatically because it's a shift. So when we take that same concept to the idea of seduction in our daily life, we can say, okay, if we're facing a problem or we're not, coming up with the solution that we need, let's shift our mind. Let's shift our perception, put on the rose colored glasses, if you will, right? Because if you put those on, it's going to change the color, right? So that automatically, I think, gets people starting to jump off with more creative ideas, think outside those lines of, creativity, and starts to just build those foundations, I think, for, again, being able to be creative, think differently. And then I think with anything, when you do that, that helps you strategize, develop better coping skills for yourself and others. And then certainly, of course, I think as you do it over time, those skills keep building more confidence. And that cumulative effect, of course, you feel it when people have it. You can feel when people have like the it factor.
Mhm.
So, you're kind of sprinkling those things in on a daily basis. So you're kind of building those little bubbles of magic so that ultimately you become one of those it factor type people without even having to like think about it at the end of the day, because you've started to shift these sort of the mental, the perception, and then your reality is kind of shifting as a result of that.
What would you say are some of your favorite like ways to shift, ways to incorporate that Technicolor
So
aspect
I would
into your life?
say for me, I kind of do an exercise, and it's helped me a lot in the sense of shifting how I look and perceive the world, as well as just building confidence within myself. And it's the idea of actually kind of creating your own sort of alter ego persona. And with an alter ego, right, the alter ego for most people, right, they don't care about criticisms or critiques of others. They're very self-confident, they're very powerful, they feel empowered, they're very bold and things like that. So I think when we take this idea of um, creating our own alter ego and then kind of using it a little bit at a time as we're moving along our day and certainly in our business or whatever the case may be. Ultimately, what we learn from the alter ego, at least in my case as well, has been that I can do these things and people didn't criticize me. And maybe the bolder I was, the more response that I got in a positive way, so you can kind of just test these things out and see what works. And when you're the alter ego type persona that you have going on, again, you don't really worry about those criticisms or anything like that, because alter ego is they're good.
Excellent. I love it. I love how the alter ego becomes almost this permission slip to explore qualities that we might not be um, confident enough to do under our own name, right? Under our own name, we wouldn't do that, but under our alter ego name, we are that confident and bold person. So excellent. Thank you for that tip. And for those folks who might want to get in touch with you, who'd love to explore the books or have you, I was just saying for those that want to get in touch with you to check out the LinkedIn page below. It's Melissa's LinkedIn profile. There you can find her books, more information about how to connect with her and bring the art of seduction to your world, your business, and the work that you're doing. Thank you so much, Melissa, for joining us today. And we'll see you all soon.
Thank you. Bye.